Theo, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Alla. It's actually 2:20 a.m. now as I speak. I am wide awake, so that's a good thing. I'd like to welcome you all. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. My story began with Alla about a year ago. Actually, I'm approaching towards the end of the year, and I've just a bit about myself. I'm 56 years of age. I come from a very close-knit family. Both parents are Greek. I was born in Australia, and unfortunately, my dad passed away in 2018. But I know that I will be with him one day in the near future, because I do believe that we are all passengers in this physical realm anyway. But enough of that. I studied mechanical design engineering. That's my background, and became involved in trading pretty much over 10 years ago. Would you believe, was fascinated by looking at various oscillations, doing stress testing in my previous line of work, and I came across some charts, and they looked like chaotic to me, and I was fascinated by the uncertainty of price projections, and yeah, that's where my interest primarily grew in the financial markets. But unfortunately, like many other traders, I was compounded with all sorts of different indicators, and I thought that the more indicators you put on a chart, the higher the probability of success. And as a result, I never got to fortunately blow an account yet, but I did lose some money. I was breaking even. I was making a bit here and there, but I wasn't progressing to the level which I wanted to attain, and in order to become self-reliant and self-sufficient as far as earning an income from trading, and that was primarily where I got involved in trading. I was on and off. It wasn't so much in the futures market. I actually traded options for a while, and end of day stocks. And probably in the last 3-4 years, I noticed the fast pace action in the E-minis brought about, and the FX markets, and my own psychology is geared towards that type of environment, and I know that's not for everyone. We all have a different type of makeup, but I was geared for that fast pace action, which the futures markets provides, and I just pretty much wanted to be in and out and take on board the sniper trades, which Allah often refers to. And just over a year ago, I came across Fibonacci Trading Institute, and I saw an approach which resonated to me because it was very objective. There were no indicators involved. It was based on price action, and to be quite honest, and I'm not paid to say this, but I have never come across a more objective roadmap, a clearer roadmap, where you can pretty much look at a chart and make a decision, make a snap decision within seconds as to whether or not one should engage in a trade or not. And that's where I'm at the moment. I do still make mistakes. We all do. It's part of the human nature. But I find that Ninja Trader's replay feature has really helped my progression and my consistency. And even though I believe that I'm fairly consistent, I still replay every weekend. I spend hours upon hours. I in various markets, not just the S&P, because market conditions change. based on the market one follows. I mean, I'm not following 1,000 markets, but on the same token, I'm not following one or two either. I do like to switch and look at various ranges, and I also do a weekly analysis of the ADR, the average daily range, just to kind of get a picture of what type of volatility is based on the instruments in which I follow. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at the moment. I'm consistently focusing on the highest probability setups. I don't like to trade into brick walls, and I wish to thank Allah for being there and for having provided such an array of videos as well. I still go through a lot of the replays, a lot of the videos. There are videos I've seen 10 times over, and I still go through them. I still do replays. I believe in what the Japanese call the Kaizen principle, it's all about continual improvement and self-development. I'm very, very big on that. Yeah, if anybody wishes to ask any questions and pertaining to my approach, feel free to do so. Allah, you can also take over the mic if you like, if you want me to add anything in particular.
Theo, I think very, very typical question is, when you started the course, what was your journey at the very, very start? Did you dive into it very, very deep? What was your start like?
Yes, that's a great question. And given that I'm very analytical, and that can be a double-edged sword too, because being very analytical, you often hear, the engineers kind of try and look for pinpoint accuracy and try and find the Holy Grail. And there's no such thing as a Holy Grail. The Holy Grail exists within the mindset of each trader because it incorporates a whole psychology. And I was led to believe that using sophisticated indicators would give me the golden egg, so to speak, and that wasn't the case. I was pulling my hair left, right, and centre to try and ascertain direction, and I was, to be honest with you, I was going through a lot of ups and downs doing that, changing indicators, buying different courses, like I'm sure many have done so. And then I just began to focus pretty much on price action and support and resistance. And when I came across your approach, Allah, I found that I found the key kind of fitted in with naked charts and PA and doing away with indicators which, as far as I'm concerned, simply lag. And they look good after the fact, but yeah, I got rid of everything. There's no need for any indicators, and I think that was my downside. When I first got started, I was just changing indicators, and I was becoming too reliant on them. And to be honest with you, my charts looked more like spaghetti than just simple charts. I believe simplicity is very, very important, and yeah, I'm totally against using anything that's lagging other than just pure price action. Your institutional levels are uncanny. I mean, indicators, and trust me, I spent a bit of money on indicators which are sitting collecting dust now. I highly recommend people get away.
Theo, there are a few other questions from students. Georgie is asking, what are your preferred instruments for you now?
Sure. Thanks, Georgie.
And actually time frames as well. I think that's important.
Yes, it's a great question. Look, I predominantly, as far as futures go, I do like the ES, and the reason being is it's a stable market. It's a very high volume market. There's a high liquidity. I don't like markets which I call kind of runaway markets, and I'm going to mention one of them. It's just not fitting to my personality. That's the NQ. Now I know some might like trading the NQ, but I find the ES as a more stable market. I like its pace, and I also like CL as well. I trade the ES more than I do CL, but I do look at CL. I don't look at many other futures markets other than ES, CL, and sometimes even the YM. That's pretty much it for futures. Because I also focus a lot on intermediate to longer term time frames on the spot FX market, and I also have incorporated cryptos as well. I'm very much drawn into some of the volatility you get from the crypto markets as well. And with cryptos, I don't have one particular crypto that I look at. I mean, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or Ripple, I look at some of the main ones. I look at the ranges. Again, I do a lot of weekly analysis on average true range. I want to know where each instrument is in terms of its range expansion. I want to get an idea because it allows me to select the appropriate instruments which I want to trade in, and the ones that I probably want to do less trading for that particular week. So I do run average daily range analysis on them, and then I just eyeball the instruments, based off your levels, your institutional levels. The plots from the software is just phenomenal. I mean, obviously, if you've got institutional levels and day trading levels, opposite levels without space, I mean, there's no point really getting involved in that type of market. That's why I often make comment in the room and say, you only need 2 seconds to make a decision, because that's you're not going to get better clarity than just looking at those levels, But that's it. Yeah, I look at, and with FX, I need to specify that I don't particularly look at one.
Theo, what is your success rate? And perhaps you could share success rate on ES. So to those of you guys who don't know what ES is, if you're on other platforms, ES stands for S&P E-mini futures. Every platform has different abbreviation. On NinjaTrader, it is ES. If you could please share your success rate on futures, forex, cryptocurrency.
Sure. Now, just bearing in mind, Ala, that that is going to fluctuate as well. So, there were going to be some days, weeks where my batting average is 90%, and then if I have a bad week, and that can happen too. I can be a bit offshoot, so to speak. Then that can lower back down to the 85%, 80 to 85%. And then what happens is I'm just in the zone, and my batting average is going to be 100%. So, I guess the average is going to be around the 90%. Because I do measure the win-loss ratio, not over 5 trades or 10 trades, but I like to sample them over 100 trades. I like a fairly large population sample to ascertain some type of statistical significance for my own benefit, because then that I can work on. And I also journal my trades. I take snapshots. I go back to where I feel and ask the question, why did I take this trade, as opposed to why I didn't take this trade. And yeah, and that's the beauty. That's the beauty about trading. There's no fixed time. You know, there's a lot of opportunities that present themselves even in the European time zone, which actually suits me a lot better as well.
Thank you, Theo, so much. Incredible. Next question we have from Richard. Hi, Theo. Do you just use AFS core strategy?
Yes. I don't want to be using too many strategies, and I say this because I follow quite a few markets, and there are always going to be setups. As I said, I don't only look at the ES. I look at CL, sometimes the YM, as far as futures can go, and that's it for futures. I don't want to be looking at too many futures. I think that's efficient. And to be quite honest with you, even looking at the ES alone is enough as far as the core method is concerned. But because I love the FX market as well, I look at various currencies and cryptos. I don't need many strategies. It's the highest probability setups that I look for. I want space. I don't want any opposing pivots. Any other questions I haven't answered? How long after taking the course did you get?
Michael is asking a question. How long after taking the course did you get consistent? And maybe you can emphasize and recap your previous experience and for how many years did you try? Again, just to remind everyone, every single person here has different experience and different background and different technical skills. So could you just briefly recap what were yours and how long did it take you to become consistent?
Sure. To answer the question, how long after taking the course do I get consistent? With your approach, Ella, it is the quickest period of time which I got to be consistent, but that's also doing 100 of hours, if not thousands of hours of replays. I would say within a month to two, I was starting to see very good results because I was doing a lot of replays, and I wanted to double and triple my account, like you say, like you can't go throwing real money unless you've at least done. I would say at least 100 trades. That's for myself. I wanted to do 100 trades, and I wanted to be consistent. How much was I risking? How much was I making? And what was my batting average? Now, prior to getting on board with Fibonacci Institute, I was up and down. I would say break even for the first. I've been involved in trading for 10 years, and I have to tell you that for the first 3 to 4 years, I was break even to losing, to maybe making a little bit more here and there, but not enough to for me to say this is it. I don't need to be working anymore, to be making an income, because that was my aim. My aim was to primarily get involved with trading so that I can be generating an income to live off, and not just to do it part time. For me, it wasn't about doing it part time. It was about doing it serious, having a serious approach about it. But unfortunately, like many, I was driven by the purchase of different indicators and using multiple systems and just getting confused and looking at stuff which is just too lagging. So my real consistency, I became well over 80% consistent pretty much after I got involved with your course, Ella.
Thank you so much. So a few last questions. So are you using trading as your main source of income, and this is how you, if you don't mind sharing?
Yes, sure. Yes, trading is this is it for me. I trade to make a living, but I do get involved, and that's beyond the scope of this interview. I do also partake in crypto ventures and projects and things of that nature. That's just something on the side. But yes, trading is it for me. I can't see myself doing anything else. I certainly don't want to engage working as a mechanical design engineer. Not that you know, I've got a backbone to fall back on, but my passion for trading pretty much developed seriously. I would say in the last 5 years, because going back 10 years, I was just dancing around with indicators, and I wasn't really. I don't believe I was that serious about it, you know. And you know, when you're losing a bit of money, when you're breaking even, I thank God I didn't blow any account, but I wasn't really at the level where I'm at now. So and I'm a fairly technical and analytical person, and that probably worked against me to be quite honest with you when I started off in trading, because I think I was looking at it. I was looking at it too with a complex. I was looking at it too with a complex mindset. I thought to myself that if I use an indicator, the more complicated an indicator will be, more sophisticated it will be, the better the results. But that's not the case with trading, and I think that there's a great misconception about that. That unfortunately, a lot of newbies go through.
So Theo, could you please share, if possible, what is your average return? And again, you know, if you can share maybe annually or monthly, percentage-wise, on your account.
Sorry, what
is your average return? Annual since you started the course, or monthly, however you wish to share?
Yeah. Oh, geez. Look, it's hard to give a percentage, but I'll put it to you this way: I risk no more than an average of half a percent, to 1%. That's it of risk. Now, you obviously need. You can't be doing multiple contracts with that unless you know you've got a bit of money in your account size. But I like to work at a 10% a month, you know, on average, and yeah, I like to basically risk half to 1%, and that's going to fluctuate as well. You know, that's going to fluctuate because I trade multiple markets. But on to give you an example on crypto, there are percentages of I often get percentages like 100%, because I'm using I use what they call that margin on the futures, and so that's 50%. So with cryptos it could be 50%, 100%, but I'm also limiting risk as well. My main focus is risk. I'm more concerned about how much am I prepared to lose as opposed to what the market will give me. You know, that because I can control the risk. I can't control what the market's going to give me. What I can control though are my emotions, and I can also stick to my plan and stick to my journal, and then work out my averages, my win-loss ratios, work on my risk assessment, and that's what's worked for me. The fact that I'm very, very, very diligent on risk, and then with targets, I just look at the your reversal zones, and I scale too. I forgot to mention I also like to scale, especially in the FX markets. Sometimes I might be in a trade for a day or two. I might turn an intraday trade into a swing position.
Theo, thank you so much sharing about risk management. Could you possibly kindly share your profit returns? Average monthly profit returns and annually since you started with Fibonacci Trading Institute?
Yeah, sure. Profit returns, I aim to look. I'm not a 10 lot trader yet. I trade anywhere on the minis, probably average about 3 to 5 lots. Again, it depends on market conditions, but I like to average at least $5,000 to $10,000 and that's USD, of course, a month, and I'm trying to increase that, of course. But yeah, that's at least replaced my source of main income. But I also do use a lot of my money to invest as well in stocks, and I'm getting more involved in end of day stuff as well, using your levels too, Ella, because you're not limited just to day trading.
So just to recap everything you shared, that you are trading S&P, you are trading forex, you are trading cryptocurrency, that the light bulb went off because of the indicator free trading, and you are accomplishing on average 85% success rate with focus on your money management, with focus on preservation of capital, with risking average half to 1% without margin on your trades, and accomplishing consistent profits 5 to 10,000 per month. Am I correct? Is that clear?
That's correct. That's correct, and I'm giving you the low. I'm giving you the low end as well on that, on the conservative side. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
And it took you about months to 2 months since you started the course to become consistent.
Yep, it took me, Ella, probably about not even 2 months. I would say over a good month, because I would spend hours upon hours just going over the material, and you've got hundreds of videos there, and it just resonated. It's so objective. There's no second guessing. This is what I love about it. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is that line of close chart is absolutely brilliant. It's helped me. It's helped me with my analysis on FX markets. I use a 240-minute, incidentally, line of close as well on the forex. I think it's well fitting, and it's just so brilliant in terms of mapping out your levels. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I also love to manually work out the levels as if I'm not using the software, because it gets my mind, it gets me thinking, it reinforces the principles, and I just like to manually work out those levels, just like you do. Taking that first impulsive wave and projecting out, and then looking at your opposing waves. When the market's in a correction, working out those those reversal zones back to a prior support area. That is just so uncanny, Ella. I mean, doing it by hand, doing it manually. I mean, the software is there to plot the levels. I get it, but in my opinion, I think every trader should give him or herself a go at just leaving the software alone for a moment and practicing working out those levels and looking at that line of close chart on a 60-minute and just projecting out and looking at those support resistance areas, and I even work out zones, because it's not just one price level. you know, if you've got a support area below another support area, you know, I like to kind of box that zone, and then when price gets into that zone, I often, because I use other software packages as well. For cryptos, I use TradingView, I use MT4 for FX, so I just create alerts. I just put my alerts. I know where the levels should be at, and that's it. I mean, it's just brilliant.
Genius. Thank you. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much. Yes. Software was developed 11 years after Alpha Fibonacci system had been traded globally on all platforms, as you just shared. So you are trading not just on NinjaTrader, you are trading on MT4 and on TradeView?
Yes, because with the crypto markets, TradingView is. I do also track them on Ninja as well. I'm paying a monthly fee to a vendor to have a like a connector with so I can have it on Ninja. But I also use TradingView because it's got quite a few of them in that platform. And then of course MT4, because I execute for a lot of the FX. That's MT4 is mainly for execution. You know, when I trade FX, I've still got them running on NinjaTrader. But then I'm executing on MT4, and I'm still placing my alerts and that on MT4. So, you know, I have no issue multitasking. My brain's geared to looking at, you know, various sophisticated software platforms at the same time and switching time frames. That's how I'm geared. I mean, I'm fairly technical in that aspect. And that's it. It keeps me busy. It keeps me sharp. And I and the rest of it, I just try and stay motivated and just objective, you know. And if I see a setup which I don't like, if I don't see enough space there, I just let it be. I don't take the trade, even though sometimes it can work out and it might run 20 points, you know, your way. I don't care, because unless I see clear space, I don't want to be in range contraction. You know, I don't want to be in between pivots. Simple as that.
Genius, absolute genius, absolute joy listening to you for the first time ever, and to hear your incredible success journey within only a year on so many different instruments. And you mentioned you will be adding stocks as well?
Yeah, look, I haven't done a lot of that. I will be adding some end of day stocks and just taking a look at the daily and weekly levels. You know, I might, but that's something that, you know, I'm thinking about doing sort of in the near future. Primarily my focus is on fast, action-paced sniper trading as far as the futures are concerned, your ES and your CL, and then I look at the forex. The forex kind of allows me a step back to look at some of your intermediate time frames from not 5 minutes or a 1 minute chart, but in forex, you know, I preferably I like to look at 30 minutes and above, but I don't mind the 15 minutes actually, from 15 minutes and above. So 15 minutes, 30 minutes, your 60 minute, 240 minute. I like to use those intermediate time frames in the FX market, and the 60 minutes is a good time frame as well.
Thank you, Theo. And could you please share? Is this the view? Is this where you live?
No, that was just I just added that because I like to travel when I travel with friends, and I like serene, you know, postcard type views, you know, from hotels, and yeah, I just love the beauty of nature, and yeah, and that's just a picture I had taken from my balcony when I travelled.
Well, Theo, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for speaking. So, traders, any other questions? I hope Theo answered all of your questions. If there are any other questions, please ask. Thank you, Theo. Thank you so much for doing this in the middle of the night in Australia. Means the world. Joy hearing your voice. Last question from Robert. Do you ever trade overnight on S&P in mini future?
Yes. Robert, that's an affirmative, because you see, being based in Australia, the overnight session for me is actually is actually a lot more viable than after the opening of the regular session. So I am around, or when I'm at home, I do scan for any opportunities, and you often do get setups in your AM Eastern Standard Time, which is my late afternoon time. So yes, I do.
Thank you, Theo. Thank you for sharing your phenomenal effort. Thank you for sharing how much you are practicing with Market Replay. Thank you for sharing regarding your risk management, your sniper's mentality, your very active, very healthy lifestyle, with your spectacular effort producing such excellent, solid, consistent results. Thank you for being such an inspiration to others, and again, million times over, thank you for doing this in the middle of the night in Australia to share your journey with other traders. Thank you again, and happiest holidays to you, and happiest new year. Joy hearing your voice. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank